Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily update video, and let's do a couple things in the video today. Let's talk a little bit about overall market news. Let's go over my AMD trades that I have on currently. We had some earnings coming up. They're actually not really coming up. They're actually live right now at the time I'm making this video, and we had some pretty big changes, so we'll touch on those. But also in terms of AMD, I'm going to end this video with a little bit of technical analysis as an update to some of my prior TA videos, just to see where I think AMD is going in the short term, because I think it's reversing direction and I'm a little bit nervous about that. So let's get right into it. So look at the heat map here. You can see had a nice day today, right? It was a turnaround Tuesday. If you remember my video from last night, it was all red across the board last night, but today a lot more green on the board. But you can see IBM had a rough day, down 6.5%, and that's earnings related. Micron, again, up 1.7%. It was red. I don't know when it was last red, but it was definitely green yesterday and green again today. So Micron just does not care, the honey badger. But you can see tech had a green day today. Google, actually, I'm very surprised about, because today was the day that I believe the DOJ, that rhymes actually, was going to hit them with the antitrust lawsuit, and I thought it was going to be a red day for Google because of that, but no, they actually went up 1.4%, which is a bit odd. AMD though, down 0.5%. I'm going to count that as a flat day, which is great for Theta Gang like myself, and we'll touch on that in a few minutes. Nvidia up 1%, but Texas Instruments also has earnings today. It's pretty much flat as of right now, but let's take a look at my AMD plays and see how we're looking. So this is the graph on AMD for today, the daily graph. You can see very choppy day today, right? We were as high as about 0.7% up in the green to as low as about 1.5% in the red. Very choppy day. This is kind of a great day if you want to just try and scalp premium. But again, you know, hindsight's 20/20. You don't know it's going to be a choppy day until the day is over. I tried scalping premium last week because I had a little bit more time than I usually do to watch the markets, and you know, it just really didn't happen for me. I don't think it fits my trading style. I think the wheel, by selling cash secured puts and by selling covered calls, it definitely fits my trading style because I don't have to spend that much time watching the market. I just have to get my position in and then just peek at it every now and then to see if I need to manage my positions. But honestly, I could really just open up a position on Monday and then not even think about it and just let it ride out, and whatever happens happens on expiration. So you can play this with very, very minimal effort, or you can be watching the market 24/7 if you really wanted to. It's really up to you. But I think my trading style is a little bit in between, but I would say it's more towards the just set it and forget it mentality. But again, that's just how I like to do things. Everybody's different. But anyway, let's take a look at my options chain on AMD, because I own 200 shares of AMD. I have sold 2 covered calls against those 200 shares for next Friday, October 30th, and I sold them at the $89 strike, and I sold them for $250 in premium each. So if we scroll up to the $89 strike here, you can see they're trading only for $155 by the end of today. So that means that I'm actually up almost $100 per contract, because I sold them for $250. If I wanted to, I could buy them back for $155. So I'm up $95 per contract times 2 contract. I'm up $190, which is not bad for 2 days of work. And when I say work, it took me 30 seconds to place both of these trades. So I'm really happy about that. I don't think AMD is going to hit 89, honestly, by October 30th. And I'll talk about that towards the end of the video when I do my technical analysis. But at that point, then, I'm just going to let these ride to max profit and hopefully collect $500 in max profit in 2 weeks of basically the time that these options were open. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I also have a 75 strike put that expires this Friday that I sold for a little bit of taco money last week. That one I'm actually more nervous about because AMD was red yesterday, a little bit red today to flat today, and I sold that at the 75 strike, which is down here, and I gotta go to selling and puts here, and I sold that put for $26 in premium. So thankfully I'm 50% profitable right now because it's only worth $13. So if I wanted to sleep better at night, I could have closed this out But again, I did some technical analysis during the day today, and I said, you know what, let me ride this at the max profit. It's already the end of day Tuesday, so I only have to worry about this option for 3 more trading days. And as far as overall market news, Nancy and Steve, we're going to go on another hot date today and talk about the stimulus bill. News still has not officially broke. They were supposed to have a phone call at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I kind of figured that no matter what the decision was, they're probably going to release it after hours anyway, because that's what they like to do, is always release stock market news after hours when nobody else can trade, unfortunately. But still, as far as I know, news has not officially broken of whether they agreed to a deal or not. But I'm pretty sure that the market is already priced in that it's not going to pass, because we did have a little bit of a sell-off towards the end of the day. And let me show you that on the AMD graph here. So that was this dip right here from about 305 to about 315. The whole market, if you look at SPY or QQQ, they all had this little dip, and I think that's right because that's the stimulus dip. And you can see we're flat after hours. So I don't think any news has come out good or bad. Honestly, I'm not expecting a stimulus deal to occur just because it seems like they're not even close. But if it does occur, then I think the whole market is going to shoot up green, at least in the short term. But right now, I'm happy with my AMD positions right now. I'm 50% profitable on my put, and I'm a little over 35% profitable on my covered calls. And as an added bonus, I think I still will have my covered calls left over, or my shares left over, I should say, by October 30th. So I can just keep selling more covered calls on them and keep reducing my cost basis. Now let's take a look at the TradingView chart on AMD to do some technical analysis and kind of update my TA, because these are daily candles. So each candle represents 1 day of trading. You can see we've had 5 red days on AMD in a row. Now, why I'm a little bit concerned is because this orange line is the 21-day moving average. This pink line is the 50-day moving average. You can see that was acting as support for the past 3 trading days. And I told you last night that it's really going to depend on what happens today, if we're going to bounce up and off it or still dip below it. And unfortunately, it looks like we decided to dip below it, because now we closed below both the moving averages. And if you look at this wick intraday, it basically touched this area of support that I drew a while back at around $80, $81. So not a really good sign right now. That tells me I am short-term bearish on AMD, meaning the next few trading days, I think we're going to have either flat days or red days, unless the stimulus bill happens, because then that will make the whole market go up, and I think AMD will go up with it. But next week might be a different story, because we have some AMD catalysts next week. We have earnings on the 27th, and we have their GPU Big Navi reveal the day after on the 28th. So definitely some catalysts there. I personally think, because earnings are on a Wednesday, the GPU reveal is on a Thursday, I think next week, Monday and Tuesday will be green as a run-up to earnings and as a run-up to the GPU reveal. But then I think both Wednesday and Thursday will be a sell the news type situation where AMD will go red again. Now, that being said, I told you early in the video that I don't think AMD is going to hit $89 by next Friday. And that's because $89, to get there now, we'd have to break through 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of resistance. And I don't think there's much in the news right now that can do that for AMD. Unless we have a combo of Stimmy bill passing plus AMD crushes earnings and their new GPU crushes NVIDIA's GPUs. I mean, I think that's unlikely to happen. So that being said, that's why I'm going to let my covered calls ride to expiration. And honestly, if AMD does go to 90, that's fine by me. I'll let my shares get called away, collect stock appreciation and max profit. So it's a win-win for me either way if AMD decides to go flat or rocket up. Really, the only way I'm going to lose right now on AMD is if it continues to fall drastically. Because then, even if my covered calls do expire for max profit, I'm going to have to sell more covered calls, and I might have to sell them for less than my cost basis depending on how low AMD goes. But like I said, it was nice that this intraday wick kind of bounced off this area of support. So that tells me right now our current area of support is going to be about $80, $81. And I think our previous support at about 83, 84 is now going to be resistance. So I think in the short term, probably for the next 2 or 3 trading days in my opinion, AMD is going to trade between about 80.81 and 83.84. Again, not financial advice, no technical analysis is perfect, but that's just my theory here. And the other thing that concerns me about AMD and why I'm more short-term bearish now is because we've really broken a trend. If we look back from about September 24th to about October 8th, we were in this upward trend, right? If I could draw a line, something like this, trying to incorporate the bottoms of some of these candles, we were in an upward trend. I could also draw a parallel channel that basically mimics that, incorporating some of these candles like so. And you can see, this is not perfect, but just as a quick and dirty method, we've broken above that, or I should say broken out of that on October 9th, and have kind of been flat from October 9th till today. Flat to a little bit down. So that's what's kind of worrying me right now, is that we broke this upward trend, and that's why I think we are in a little bit of a short-term bearish trend right now. At best case scenario, maybe flat. I think this week, the only thing that will save us, just to reiterate, is stimulus news. I think next week, the things that can save us on AMD are earnings and the big Navi GPU reveal. But that's where I am right now. That's my thoughts on AMD. I'm just hoping it doesn't go all the way down to 75 by Friday. Again, that's going to be down here, so we'd have to break through 2 levels of support in 3 trading days, which I think is going to be a rough ride. And I think for that to happen, the overall market would have to be pretty big red to drag AMD down with it. Now, I told you earlier that we're going to talk a little bit about some of the earnings that were happening today. And take a look at Netflix. I hope nobody here owns shares or had calls, because Netflix just fell off a cliff. At 4 p.m. it closed at about 5:25. 5 minutes later, when earnings numbers came out, it dropped almost $33. It dropped 6% in the matter of 5 minutes. And it looks like it's continuing to fall after hours. So earnings was not good for Netflix. If you bought puts on Netflix, you are making out like a bandit right now. Let me know in the comments below if you have puts or if you're making some big money off these Netflix sells. The other big kind of tech ticker that has earnings right now is Snap. Snap was interesting because Snap was the opposite of Netflix. It closed the market at $28.41. At 4:15, it was up about 16%, actually a little over 16%. So crazy. I'm not sure why Snap is doing so well. I thought it's a little bit of a dying social media platform, but someone's investing in Snap right now. I would have expected the opposite. I would have thought Snap would have gone down and Netflix would have gone up because of the whole illness situation and people at home watching TV, just relaxing. But, what do I know? Anyway, that was my trading day for today. So overall, I'm happy with my AMD positions right now. We'll have more earnings coming up tomorrow. Actually, Tesla has earnings tomorrow. And I'm also going to drop a Tesla updated technical analysis video later tonight, so stay tuned for that. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you're not in our Discord server, make sure you get in there. And happy trading.